Hey guys, Trent Allen here at Vigno Studios, and it's been a while since I've made a video here, and mainly because of classes and everything and work. But I'm back at it, and I got a good selection of videos for you guys coming up for the next week or so. As a recording it's been a couple weeks, obviously, but I'm going to review and talk about McMurry University's PlayFest of 2023. What this is just a little festival where a bunch of one-act plays written by students or other arbitrary authors and are performed throughout a big old festival to celebrate academics called the Symposium. So it was a neat little event, and there's 5 shows that were chosen for this Playfest, which is a lot considering the last symposium. I think it was like 3. I want to say, I don't know the whole history of it, but this one was an interesting event with 5 different shows written by students, and I was part of the playwriting class of where these shows were chosen, that were written. So I'm going to go through the list, and I'm going to do videos in that order. So as recording this is Wednesday, yeah. So we got Lionheart, written by Matthew Lamar. We have This Is How It Gets Better, written by Sterling Halliburton. We have The Parents of Room 10, written by Maddie Melbourne. Generational Gap, written by Tabitha Wilson. As well as Specific Legacy, written by Haley Isbell. All these shows were about, I want to say, 45 minutes to an hour at most. I think one of them was 30 minutes. Some of them were shorter than the rest, and some were longer than the rest. But they were all like quick little shows. So these are not going to be like hour-long videos, like detailing everything. Considering that it has been a few weeks since I have seen these, I'm going to go off just based on my memory about them, what I've seen from them, and try to go through the story more or less, because it is a one-act, so the story's there, but it's not one that I can like go in full detail about, because it's just a quick little, it's good and done. But I'll do what I can, like give you the premise at least and what I thought of the acting and everything. So it's going to be a little different than what I usually do and what Trevor and Grayson and I usually do when we review stuff. So the plot part is not going to be as significant compared to, like, say, the technical stuff. So without further ado, let's get started with Lionheart by Matthew Lamar. And quick premise, this is the story about a woman found in a boxing gym's locker room sleeping because she ran away from home, and she's found by the boxing coach there. And the boxing coach permits her, like, you could stay here if you train here. And the whole show is her being the new girl at the boxing gym and getting to know the other characters and how her dynamics with them change over the course of the series as she develops herself into a boxer. Best way I can describe it. What did I get? Technical stuff. Yeah, the technical stuff about this was interesting. All these shows had really good technicals. This one had really good lights, sound design. The set was, I'm not gonna say it was my favorite one of the rest, but they were still really good. So I'm gonna go through it as best I can. The lighting I thought was a little, what's the word? Natural. Yes, there it is. It was a very natural lighting with a bit of expressionism within it. There was like soft blues to greens, and I think to an amber to signify the natural lighting. There was a lot of great lighting choices here for the show, as short as it was, because it was a little short. But the lights were really good. We had a nice spotlight on one of the scenes to signify like the end of a boxing round that our main character won. So that's what I got to say about the lighting. I thought it was just solid lighting. It had a really neat natural part to it with also a good expressionistic feel to it. When a serious moment happened, it was like a big red, as some lightnings go. Sound design, there wasn't really a whole lot. I think there was like music in the pre-show. That was about it, and applause to signify the winning of a round. And I'll get into that in a second. Actually, I got my thoughts real quick. I think if we had more sound design of it, maybe it could like fill in the dead space of the show itself. Because there were some quiet moments that I feel like maybe a little, maybe like a soft track could have accentuated this a little bit better to fill the dead space. So that was just my thing about it. I'm not saying these shows are bad or this show is bad or anything like that. No, these were very solid. The acting, which I will get into in the characterizations as best I can. So we have, these are I'm going to say the characters and who's portraying them. We have Javi, portrayed by Rudy Flores, Clarissa, portrayed by Haley Isbell, Lily by Hannah Turner, John, Sean Schaefer, Daniel, Kelton Verman. Is it Verman? Werman? Don't hate me, Kelton. Austin by Zane Hargrove, Andy by Abby Ewing, and yeah, that's all the characters. All of them did a really good, solid job portraying these characters. Javi is the main boxing coach, and throughout the show it's revealed that he has a terminal illness. I forget what it is. I know it was something like specific that was chosen for this, but I'm going to say it was like a bad, like, I think lung disease or something like that. I don't know. So don't quote me on anything. Sorry, Matt, if I don't remember your writing too much. Sorry. And he portrays, oh man, what's his name? I think it was Hajime, but he reminds me of the main coach of Hajime no Ippo. No, it's not Hajime. What am I talking about? But if you knew Hajime no Ippo, the main boxing coach for Ippo, that's what Javi reminded me of. A lot of this, because this is a boxing show, play, I should say, it reminded me a lot of like the classic boxing movies. It reminded me a bit of like some Rocky, some Creed. The main ones it reminded me of were $1 Million Baby by Clint Eastwood and Creed, especially in the contemporary part of it, because Rocky is way before, yada yada. And with our main character, Clarissa, portrayed by Haley Isbell, it reminded me of a lot of Adonis Creed by Michael B. Jordan. I'm not going to say she's the broken character, but she came from a bad life and now is making herself better. I think the best way to say this show, like, I'm not going to say they're stereotypes or caricatures, but this was like, I'm not going to say bare bones. That sounds mean. But this was a pretty classic story of the underdog becoming better. And the other characters, Lily is the main love interest to Clarissa. Daniel and John both are other coaches. John is technically the antagonist because he's like a creep towards the female boxers. He's a dick. Kelton's character Daniel is a guy he's a boxing coach, but he wants to be a boxer. So he's like the inexperienced one. I feel like he read a book about boxing and decided to teach that instead of actually doing it. That's what I got from it, at least. Andy is no, I got that wrong. Austin is like the punching bag. Like, he talks mad, he talks tough, but he in the ring he kind of gets his butt whooped. Andy is the spunky striker. So all these characters are like, I guess you could say caricatures in a way, but there's not too much depth to them. But they have the portrayals by these actors are what sells it. And because this is a boxing, it did have choreography, and the choreography, I'm not gonna say it was perfect. It wasn't bad, given that stage combat is different from movie choreography. For example, like if you go on stage, it's not gonna have that's a big fight choreography, it's not going to be the same as say like John Wick, where you could afford that. Nah, it's stage combat. You need to be a little bit safer than movies at times, because you're not gonna have mats all over the place, or you're not gonna have specific sets built for a fight scene. So, taking that into account, it wasn't bad choreography, but I think you could have gotten away with a little bit of other stuff. For example, Clarissa in the show starts throwing wild haymakers and hooks, and I feel like you could have gotten away with more of the speed, because it was kind of just this. Like, no offense or anything like that, but I feel like you could have gotten away with it. But if safety was the concern, I fully understand. I'm not going to harp on it that bad. But some of the other like stage combat moves, for example, there was a slap that looked pretty good. It looked real enough. Thrown by John, portrayed by Sean, and that one moment, it made me want to box him. So the fight choreography, that's about as solid as you can get. Director was Dalton Martinez. You directed this very well. The set, it was also... Who was the set guy? I cannot tell. Damn. But the set was very well done as well. You had a big platform to signify the boxing ring. You had a desk area in the far left, or you had a punching bag in the far right. Because at the end of the show you can mingle, before they took it off, I had to get a couple hits in. Almost hurt my wrist doing it because I didn't have gloves, but worth it. But yeah, the choreography was very solid. Like I said, the technical stuff was pretty solid. The acting was also solid. Everything about the show was pretty solid. I think the best I'm not gonna compare actors, but I think Rudy as Javi was a very solid choice. There's one like serious moment that I think was to signify his death. I think, yeah, it was, and he got on a knee to signify that he died, while the lights kind of panned to Clarissa winning like a championship or something. And I don't know, I thought, like, I think you could have gotten away with him actually just slumping down, maybe taking the knee and then slumping down given his illness is taking effect. That was just me though. Like, it was still very solid. I think maybe you could have gotten away with, him slumping down onto the floor to signify he died. Yeah, everyone, like, Clarissa and Lily's chemistry was very cute. It was very natural given how they are. And what was pretty awesome to me that I thought was very clever that they did was that Clarissa and Lily were portrayed by Haley and Hannah, who are a couple in reality, so kudos. I thought that was very clever. So it really worked with the chemistry as well. So the writing of the script, I'm not gonna say bare bones. That sounds mean. But it was kind of, I guess, generic is the term I should use. It was a classic story that it was straightforward. It was a straightforward story. It was predictable. That's the term. The story was predictable. I'm not saying that was bad or anything, but you didn't have enough depth. And I get it's a one act. You're not gonna give too much depth with anything, unless your whole show is to like mess with the minds of people or something like that. But this was a very straightforward and predictable story. Again, it's not bad. I thought that it was still solid. The performances, the dialogue was very natural, very, very solid. Everything about this was very solid and very good. Actually, I enjoyed myself watching it. During the fight choreography, I kind of got into it in the audience, shadow boxing, and some of the technical people saw me and they thought it was hilarious. So I was invested. I was emotionally invested into the story, as predictable as it was. So I can't give it discredit for that. If it's predictable, a predictable story can be just as good as any story, given how you do it. And I think the performances of the actors really carried it. Because if it was bad acting, I don't think it would have. I think I would have probably kind of rolled my eyes like, really, this is what you're doing. But the performances are above and beyond. So everyone, including the technical people, gets a gold star from me. But I think it was a little predictable. Like I said, I think you can get away with more of the acting part of it when it's not dialogue. Because I'm not gonna say that some of it fell flat, but I think there was a little bit of dead space, like dead air. And one of the things whenever I went and saw these shows, I thought to myself, I figured out that if you wait more than like 3 seconds to get your line in, unless it's like a big like beat or pause, then there's dead air. Like say like count to 3 in between lines. Unless it is like meant to be a big beat or pause, then you got dead air. Especially after you get like a big line in, and we're supposed to like take that in. I thought the ending, no, not the ending, but everything about the show was pretty solid. What would I rate this on my? Like, I still really enjoyed this. The guy that wrote, Matt, the one who wrote it, I'm good friends with him. And he really wanted to tell the story in a great way on stage. Dalton was a great director. He really understands what the sport is and how these characters should be like. But it was, in terms of understanding the script, this was really well done. Like no one's gonna be like master classes after the fact. Wait, that didn't make sense. But to save it, as predictable as the script was, it was still done in a great way where I was emotionally invested. That's the sentence. That's what I was trying to say. But yeah, if I were to rate this, I'd give it a solid 8. It was a really good play, especially with this type of storyline where it's mainly the movie industry that takes over, like say the sports stuff, like boxing and whatnot. So for the stage, this was really well done. Maybe I might give it a 9, just because of that fact. As a story, no, it's an 8. It's a solid 8. Yeah, 8's a good thing. I know I'm sounding like, it's mid. It's not mid. It's not. This was a great show. I enjoyed it. All the audience enjoyed it. Why am I saying like I'm the director? No, I truly did enjoy this. This was a really good show. Matt, I hope that your playwriting career gets even higher. I hope everyone in this cast and technical, everyone did a great job here. I think the main thing is the story itself was predictable, even if it was told very well. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. So the next one we got is This Is How It Gets Better by Sterling Halliburton. And how I'm gonna be releasing these videos, I wanna record all these like all at once. So stay tuned on that, and I'll release these at different intervals so y'all guys can get videos. And yeah, I hope you see you guys in the next one. Peace.